Hey Everett, not trying to get arthritis, nor are you trying to read a book, so just wanted to do a video in response to your tweet over here. So first of all, I'm working under the impression or assumption that we have the same goal of obviously exponentially growing the user base, but not just getting the eyeballs to test things out, right? A quick glance, but for them to start staring at the Sorare sphere, so to speak, let's say this app, and the sustaining type of user base that are constantly engaged and want to use our product or want this project to succeed alongside us. So I think there's a lot of potentially easy additions. I was just checking out the app today. I think there's a lot of easy additions because of what you, David, and team has already done. And to be perfectly honest, for this video, I just opened up the app to actually truly test it out. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised at all the things that we now provide to the user base. And I personally didn't, just to let you know, I personally didn't use the app, not because I don't like it or whatever. It's just not part of the, to your points, to your questions point, it's not part of my process to do lineups, in large part because the things that I personally consider for lineups are understandably simply not there, nor should they be in most cases. But all that said, I think that there's a massive opportunity to put in what I think are low or relatively low hanging fruits that can retain eyeballs, so to speak. So the limited space forces us to put in the most helpful and powerful tools, probably geared towards the new to the game or people that would say something to the effect of, well, I'd like to play, but there's just too much to consider. Baseball, I just don't know. I'm new, and what the heck is this AJ guy talking about all kinds of different acronyms and metrics and stuff like that. So ideally, the things that would be added would be easy to get. So the stats and metrics should be pretty public, and metrics that have a relatively, let's call it high predictive value. And if need be, I've been pretty open about volunteering in this endeavor to do whatever I can to help. I'm fine with that. So if we could put something in here, let's see. So there's a bunch of different categories. So if we could maybe put something in here being like some of the empty spots over here that can empower this new user base to be competitive and simultaneously grow their knowledge and passion for the game, and specifically Sorare, right? Then great. So maybe adding something in these kind of dead spaces, or even, as I mentioned, something interactive. So if they click one of these, it'll show them a different stat, a different pivoted view, or something to that effect. But some sense of security knowing that they are doing the things that a lot of the people they see on the leaderboards or post their rewards or whatnot use. Enough of that rabbit trail. So the L15 average of what the player scored from a Sorare scoring matrix perspective deserves an absolute chef's kiss. Such a nice ad. And since the different categories here are already built in for, is this a batter? For a batter in this case, well then what if we did the inverse from a pitching perspective, right? So this is hitting on base, at bat, all purely batter related. Well then, what if we had different categories on this side that was specifically for pitchers, right? Preferably for most people, it would be their next opponent, next scheduled probable pitcher. So it could mimic this whole batter Sorare scoring matrix perspective, or actually, since it's they might be facing, let's say, 4 pitchers or 3, maybe it's an average of all of those pitchers. Right now, an average of an average is an ugly stat, and if we don't want to go that route, then maybe it could be something to the effect of, all right, SP1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. When they click this, then maybe it can then give them, okay, their K minus BB, right? Their Sierra, their whip, whatever. But in that case, though, it would be by individual pitcher, and then ideally it show them left or right-handed. But I have too many thoughts running through my head now, so let's just go one at a time. So that's just the first thing that's coming to mind right now. And then, of course, for a pitcher, it would just be the inverse of that, where instead the averages of the Sorare scoring matrix of, let's say, so it'd be where? It'd be around here. We could just call it, well, whatever team they're facing, right? And then when they click that, it'll show a pop-up, let's say, of these, of all of these, I guess, metrics right here. What is that? The Sorare perspective. Okay, that's cool. Except from a hitting point of view, right? The things that we were just looking at, so we already have it in place. But obviously, just like from a batter's perspective, facing different pitchers throughout that game week, we would have to make it, let's say, just look, I'm just thinking on a whim here, right? Let's just call it the current active, I don't know, top 9 batters of a team, plus, let's say, their 4 to 5 bench players. Ideally, it would be weighted, the metrics would be weighted by their plate appearance, but, just baby steps here, right? And in terms of the current top, quote unquote, top 9 batters of a team, that could be sorted in a couple of different ways, but an easy way, I just mentioned, plate appearance and or a very heavy offensive comprehensive type metric like WRC plus their plate appearance, right? We just weigh those things. Now, I would add, though, that for the most part, a lot of the scoring matrix do not have high predictive value. So maybe some people might complain that it doesn't actually help them set up their lineups because, I don't know, it doesn't have enough predictive power or something to that effect. It's just purely descriptive, yada yada. But at least it'll create a habit. And to answer those types, well, then why don't we add those kinds of metrics with the ones with high predictive values? And it doesn't have to be complicated. I can share the results of which specific offensive metrics carry a higher predictive value, and a lot of them are not complicated underlying metrics. One of the most popular ones is WRC. A lot of people know what that is. And if not, then we could have like a little, maybe like a little information button here, and then like if they click that, then it says, hey, WRC plus is, simply put, comprehensive offensive metric. So we could have that metric for the batters, or the quote unquote SorareMLB rating that I do. Now, gotta admit, have not been updating those recently, but I can, and consistently so, and share it, and share all of that if we go that route. I'm cool with that. And then for pitchers, it would be things like called strike rates, Stuff Plus, Sierra, FIP for in season, and then we could switch it up to XFIP when it's off season, so that it gives people a reason to log in there and check out, who's got the lowest XFIP, because that, it's a sticky metric year over year, and it has good predictive value for the next season, whatever. Or, again, trying to opt for simplicity in something that a lot of people can just simply Google, it could be K minus BB rate, right? K minus walk rate. Because A, it's simple, B, it's very public, easy to understand, and it's already explicitly part of the Sorare scoring matrix, right? And on top of that, it has high predictive in-season value of, so whatever their rates are right now, it's probably going to continue throughout the entire season, or throughout the rest of the remaining season, and it's proven year over year. So if those were added, and as mentioned, if maybe we could put in here, actually let's go to the hitter. If we could put in here, is this a left-handed pitcher? Is this a right-handed pitcher? Is this a left-handed? That kind of simple letter right there, that might keep them engaged for that 1 second more, and that would, that plus all the other things that might have been added by then, would remove the need to have to get out of Sorare or this app even just to get, I don't know, this information, right? Or having to get out of the Sorare app because they did not, they had to go to Baseball Savant to get their, I don't know, X ISO or something like that, right? Because they heard Alex or Clamp or Bob Flynn say, oh, well, I like slugging metrics. Oh, what is slugging metrics? Oh, well, okay, well, click this little I button here, and then it'll say, okay, well, X ISO or slug is this. Again, it's one less thing for them to have to do and search and do all of that, and it's just too much for a lot of people, and that's totally understandable. But as we all know, the more they see it, the more it'll create a habit, the more they'll get more comfortable with it. It's creating a passion, it's educating them, and all these other good things that come from that. And of course, there's always iterations to the next level, right? We could always next level this stuff by doing, I don't know, for example, like a list of players and basically a pivoted view, let's say, of a certain metric and or metrics in one page that is sortable so that they could see the matchups all within this app. So let's just say that we added a few of those metrics that we were just talking about in here, and then I click it, and then it takes me to I don't know, another page, but that view would have, I don't know, let's say this was K minus BB. Oh, well, it's Christian Yelich. So this is obviously a batter related thing. Let's just call it WRC, right? They click this, WRC. By the way, what is WRC? Oh, no problem. I'll go ahead and click this thing here. Something pops up. This is WRC. Oh, well, that sounds like it's really important, and that's pretty easy. Let me go ahead and click this button. All right, I just clicked the button, and now it takes me to, let's see, here are all my players, right? Here is the metric, WRC, and here it is sorted out. Great. Now they know who who out of all of their, out of the people, the players within their gallery, they'll know who has the highest WRC plus. So maybe they could, oh, these four guys, maybe I should just hone in on those four, right? Just to, let me do more research on those four because AJ and all these data geeks are talking about this WRC metric is, has some high predictive value, so I should go take a look at that. Okay, well, they didn't have to leave this app at all, and they just got all of that. They learned, they were kept engaged. They now have a next thing to do, right? Another task to do that they're actually interested in, and that took them, I don't know, a few seconds. Instead of Googling and then, I don't know, they go off into all these rabbit trails. And then they lose interest because it wasn't part of the, I don't know, part of the day that they wanted to spend that on anyway, etc., right? Or what if, I think I might have mentioned this earlier, what if we clicked, all right, let's say this, interactive scores. All right, AJ, what are you talking about, interactive scores? Okay, well, let's say I click this. Okay, I just clicked that, and now it takes me to another page, whatever. I'm not a designer, but here's that 32. I just clicked it. Well, how about if, let me think about this. What if they click that and then it showed them a bar graph that showed the positive points? And actually, to be honest, I'm saying positive points only because I don't actually know off the top of my head right now, because I'm trying to do a few things at once, how to reflect it, how to reflect negative points. But let's just say, okay, so this Yelich, so it's a batter. Let's say, okay, this is this much for walks, and then this much was because of a big home run, and that's how it just gives a visual cue, a visual thing of what this player is about. and it's easy. I'm not talking about like from a dev perspective, from a coding perspective, but easy is the wrong word. It's intuitive, right? So it's a visual cue that they'll intuitively know that, oh, you know what? Most of the points here came from a single home run, right? Ooh, I don't know if I should be depending on that as much. It's kind of like on the football side, right? Like we want AA, players that have a lot of AA, players that constantly get on base and then gets a stolen, right? Like okay, so this player seems to get on base and then part of it is a stolen base over here, and just that AA, so to speak, from a football perspective, it's there. Maybe some people want that, and maybe some people don't want that, and they their eyes light up when they see that, wow, this player here, they mainly get homers, and that's what I want. I just want go home, go big, right? But point being, it's simple, interactive things like that that can educate, engage, keep them within the Sorare sphere, etc. So, well, to be honest, like those are some of the first things that come to mind as I'm looking at this app for lineup decisions. And with, again, I think with the foundational structures that are already in place, I'd be curious to see the impact of adding those small but potentially impactful items to help making lineup decisions easier. And I better stop this video because I could probably go on for hours. But yeah, hopefully some of these were helpful to you. And just as always, man, I'm always free. Just DM. Thanks.